And
Okay,
okay,
there we go.
and whatever questions we don't get to, I can just send you them and you can answer them through there.
For sure. Yeah, no problem.
Are you here tomorrow?
Okay.
Well, I have
So-
Thanksgiving ahead of time. I'll give you a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow too.
First things first, where or how did you get where you are today, being a morning weather person and a Fresno State professor?
Well, how did I get here? I started in college and I wanted to do the news. So when I graduated in 1988, after having an internship at the TV station in Chico, I ended up, applying lots of places. I got a job in Bakersfield at KERO TV. And I started there on July 5th, 1988, as a doing the morning news. It was just cut-ins. So I did, I produced and I edited and I anchored the cut-ins. There were 4 of them every morning. And I've just been, doing the news at different stations all around the country since then. And, one of the places where I worked doing the news was in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I was reading the employee handbook, and it said that the company would pay for, extended education or a degree completely, books and tuition, if it applied to the industry. And I thought I always wanted to teach somewhere down the road. And I figured you have to have a higher degree other than a bachelor's. So I applied and I started the whole program in Knoxville, Tennessee, University of Tennessee in Knoxville. So I was working full time in TV and then went thereafter. And I got my master's degree in December 1997. And then I had a baby and I moved, and there wasn't time to teach. But then I got a call out of the blue from Faith saying, we need a teacher over here. Hear that you have a master's degree. Would you like to teach? And I said, okay. That was probably a couple weeks before school started in August 2015, and I've been teaching at Fresno State ever since.
And when you said 88, and I was born in 98, so I'm thinking you've been doing all this for like
34 years.
40 years?
34 years is this last July marked 34 years. So this coming July, next summer, it will be 35 years for me in the industry. Professionally.
Since I just turned 24. So I was like, oh, okay. So
yeah. Long time.
And how was your college experience like as you're an alumni, I think, with Fresno State?
Nope, I went to Chico State.
Okay.
So I loved college, absolutely loved it. At the time though, when I was a freshman and I went to school as a business major because that's what my dad told me I needed to do. I didn't do very well in accounting or in econ. And I switched majors, and I was pretty scared to tell him that I was not going to be a business major. I ended up being a business minor, whatever, to try to make him happy. And he's very happy with what I do and my career choice. But I wanted to get into communications, but I didn't know what. And then I thought maybe I would write commercials. And I actually did write one that went on the air, a TV commercial, when I was an intern at a TV station up there. Not until my final semester senior year. And I had 5 years of college, my second senior year. did I realize with my internship at the TV station at their KHSL that I really wanted to do news. I was writing for the midday newscast, and I love to write. Was another reason why I liked, promotions and advertising too, because I really like writing, but I also like the insanity of a newsroom and the just frenetic energy of it. And so when I realized that, it seemed like a natural, a natural place for me. But my school didn't have what Fresno State has now. Fresno State Focus and a TV studio and lots of hands-on stuff. Everything I learned back then was theory. In fact, my major was called telecommunications, T-E-L-E communications. It was about like the technology of it. They didn't have a journalism degree then, they do now. So I did not have any hands-on training in college. I had it with my internship. Thank goodness for that.
And okay, so since you mentioned like Fresno State Focus and me being in your on-air class last semester, I think you have a pretty hectic routine. Can you go through the whole spiel?
Yeah, I think you know how hectic it can be, or how, because it's so hectic, sometimes my brain gets a little zapped when I go into class because I've been up for so long. But obviously that I seem to I don't know. I love it. So it doesn't bother me too much. Sometimes I'm tired, but I wake up at 2:30 in the morning and I get to work here at Fox 26 around 4, a little before 4 a.m. Got a half an hour to go through scripts and write a little newscast for the Alexa news that we do. Go in and put all this makeup on and do my hair. And then from 5 to 10 a.m., I'm live on Great Day. And I might have a 2-minute commercial break to run down the hall to go to the bathroom, or put some toast in the toaster, or fill up my coffee cup. And then after I do Great Day, I'll come back here to my desk and I'll, answer emails, do social media stuff, or I'll go out and do a story, shoot it anyway. And then I will come back here and grab my stuff and then head on over to Fresno State and teach 3 classes. This semester it's only 2, but traditionally, usually it's been 3 classes. So Monday and Wednesday, I teach Fresno State Focus, which is the newscast class, the capstone class for broadcast and multi-platform journalism degrees. And that class goes from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. But I team teach it with Faith Sidlow, who's the chair of the department. She does the first 2 hours. And then I come in and do from 1 to 5. That's on Mondays and Wednesdays. And we have our live newscasts on Wednesdays from 4 to 4:30 p.m. Then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, same schedule here at work. I leave here and I go teach on-air performance, MCJ 126, that we got to work together with. That's from noon to 2. And then from 2 to 4 is MCJ 124, which is the broadcast and online news writing class. So I'm either leaving campus at a little after 5, Mondays and Wednesdays, or maybe around 4 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I don't teach on Fridays, so we just one job on Fridays.
I don't have any classes on Friday this semester, so
Nice.
So yeah, I'm kind of the same boat. Like, yeah, I get to relax and all that.
Yeah.
So if you weren't doing all this, what would you be doing? Like if you weren't having a passion for like news writing and journalism and all that, what would you be doing?
I have absolutely no idea. It's all, once I figured it out, it's all I've ever wanted to do. I knew that I knew pretty early on, well, actually, when I was getting my undergraduate degree at Chico State, that I wanted to teach. I wanted to get into this business and then teach it, because we had some people who really made me quite quite sad, I suppose, and angry, that they would come into the class and say all these bad things about the industry when it was something that I was so interested in. So I thought, well, I'm going to go into the industry, I'm going to work, and then I'm going to share with students how to do it. And so that was my plan, even before I kind of knew how to make the plan a reality. So what would I do if I wasn't doing the news? I would be teaching. What would I be doing if I wasn't teaching? I maybe working at a friend's shop in Old Town Clovis doing absolutely nothing like what I'm doing now. I don't even know. I can't even imagine, Carissa.
Yeah, that's kind of me too. Like when I was about to graduate high school, I kind of already knew that I wanted to be doing radio or be doing something like pop culture or music related, while my friends were all like, I don't even know what I want to do. I just want to go to Fresno City and just take it with a grain of salt, while I'm all
Mhm.
like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And they're all like, whoa, you already have your stuff planned.
Good for you. It helps a lot when you have a plan early on, and following a passion so that work doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. And do you have any memorable moments with being a morning newscaster, and why?
I have a lot of memorable moments, and many of them I've forgotten. But I mean, I've done so many things. When I first started, I did mornings, and then I also produced and reported nights and weekends. I did weather. So this is in Bakersfield, one of my memorable moments down there was I was doing weather, and I was talking about a cold front coming down for 11 seconds on live television. I forgot the word Alaska. How hard is that, right? I was panicking. I was getting all in my head. So that's a memorable moment, but not for a good reason. But I guess I learned from it, so that's okay. Another memorable moment was doing a story down there. I was told to go to Tehachapi to go do this story about a woman who needed a bone marrow transplant. She had leukemia. She was a mother of, I don't know, like a 4-year-old daughter. And so I needed to go meet her and family and do a story on that. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. You know, it's just going to be a real bummer. And I'm not normally like this. I'm really letting the veil down here for you to know the honest to God mindset that I had, which was very out of character for me. But I was just, maybe I had been doing a lot of bad news stories that week, and this was just another one. I don't remember, but I just do remember going, I walk into the woman's home. She's there, you know, with her head covered. She's lost all of her hair and chemo and stuff. And she's sitting on the couch. And I walk into this house and she's got the biggest smile on her face. And her daughter just comes up and gives me a hug. I'm like, I don't even know these people, right? I sit down and I'm talking with this woman whose name is Kim. And she just had the most amazing outlook. I think she knew she was going to die and leave her daughter and her husband, you know, way before she ever wanted to, right? She just had this really awesome spirit about her. And she did die. But that was memorable because I saw her just joy in a time of darkness that I thought is an important lesson for all of us. 2, I thought it was an important lesson for me as a reporter to no longer let those feelings of being, you know, as you walk in the door to go do a story, because you never know how a story is going to just open your eyes to something, enrich your life, change your life, you know? So that was memorable for all of those reasons. I interviewed Naomi Judd many, many years ago when I was in Knoxville working on a Live at 5. I got to do a lot of live newscasts or shows all around the Southeast, including at Claiborne Farms and the Grand Ole Opry and Opryland and weird place in Tampa where we did a story about alligator hunting. I mean, just like crazy stuff. And then I got to fly with the Blue Angels. Pretty incredible because very few people ever get to fly with the Blue Angels. I did throw up. But I get motion sick pretty easily, but I still got to fly a plane and I did 4Gs and I didn't pass out. That was pretty cool. Very memorable. I got to interview Garth Brooks. My God, what a fantastic interview that was. He was so much fun. Julie Andrews, I got to interview. My favorite movie of all time is Sound of Music. So I got to interview her, and that was one of the very few times I get nervous. I don't get nervous doing my job, but I could feel my heart kind of palpitating when I was leading into that interview with her. And lots of wonderful things that I can't remember.
You did that pretty good.
Yeah, I can already picture when I'll do radio and all that, and then once I'm notified saying like, "Hey, Lady Gaga wants to do an interview," I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep my cool." And then after the interview, I'll just lie down in a ball.
yeah, exactly. Because you're a professional, you'll do it right. And then what you want to do is save it. I wish that I
Yeah.
had kept notes of everything I had done, people I interviewed. I live in this business for the job of what I do at the time. You go do it and then you move on to the next one. And I didn't take enough time to maybe, I don't know, account for all the cool things that I do. But that's also not why I'm in it, to, kind of pad my resume or to tell people, look I've done this and I've done this. That's just not me. I have friends who are like that. They could tell you every single interview they've ever done. I just can't.
Do you have any heroes or inspiration?
Well, there are some broadcasters that I think are fantastic, and I watch them to kind of try to emulate a little bit or find inspiration from. The number one is seeing now all of a sudden I'm forgetting. How can I do that? Hold on. How do I lose these things? Okay, well, not the number one, but Robin Roberts. I think she's an amazing broadcaster. I like the way that she just naturally interviews people. It's just a conversation. She seems very real, and I think that's important. That's what I strive to do, is just be real when you're interviewing someone. Damn it. Why am I losing my mind? Jeff, broadcaster, somewhat recently died, LA Dodgers. Redhead. The guy.
Yeah.
Why are we all forgetting his name? This is ridiculous. The minute you say it, I'm going to be Vin Scully. Thank you. Vin Scully. He would say things when he was calling Dodger games, but he also let the magic of the sound of the stadium, crack of the bat, whatever, tell the story. So he wasn't always yammering on. He would just let the sound of the event happen. And I think that's something that we should all strive for, is let the situation speak. And then we bring in words that we have, to try to tie stuff together, but have more natural sound than anything else.
Yeah, like actions speak louder than words, kind of.
Exactly.
So let's get off topic a bit.
Okay.
What would, or one word you describe yourself?
The first word that came to my mind was quirky, and then the next one was silly. And that doesn't sound like a good journalist, but oh well.
Yeah, from being around you and being a professor and all that, I'd be like, yeah, we kind of blend well because I'm kind of quirky myself.
Yep.
And where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years if you can see that far?
Hmm. Well, I've never been one to really think about stuff like that. But I guess as I get older, maybe I think a little bit more about it. Maybe, don't tell anybody,
Okay.
in 5 years. In 5 years, I would like to see myself teaching full time at Fresno State. And maybe coming in and doing something here and there. But I'd like to be teaching full time.
Yeah. So when when I'll see people saying like, "Hey, do you recommend anyone in the journalism like professor?" I'll just say Kim Stevens.
Thank you, Carissa.
And if you could, what would you say to the version of yourself who is stepping into all of these for the first time?
Wow. Okay.
I came up with this on the spot when we were trying to figure out questions, and I was like, "Oh, this would be a good one."
It is a good one. It's very good. So there are a couple of things. One, I would say something I said a little earlier is just keep a little notebook of the people that you interview. Well, nowadays, who writes on paper, right? I guess digital, but anyway,
Yeah.
keep track of who you interview. Just yeah. Try not to be so hard on yourself. I've been pretty hard on myself. I get really down on myself for, I don't know, just a lot of second guessing myself on an interview that I did or a way I did a story or how I handled an interview. Or I don't know. It's just pretty down on myself. So I would say not to be so hard on myself, have a little more confidence. I never really had a lot growing up, and I kind of came into the business with very little confidence. So I grew more as I got older, but it would have been nice to have had more when I was younger. I would say also, but I think that I have done this, is stay true to who you are. Do not let people change you. I had people try to change my look and my voice and all that. And so stay true to who you are. And what else would I say? I mean, I don't know if I ever would have imagined back then if I would have believed, me coming back from 2022 to say, in 2022, you're going to be doing this and be like, what? Or that I'd even be married and have kids. I never thought that was going to happen. Have a little bit more of a backbone, maybe. Those are probably the main things I'd say to myself.
Yeah, that's kind of me too. Like, because I would often question myself, like saying, like, if the little girl who wants to sing full time, what would you say to her? I'm like, be like, oh, you would probably be more interested having a voice than having a face, basically, like be heard rather than be
Right.
seen.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, so I was like, I can't imagine little me would be like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, you would want to be in radio rather than being a singer,
It's a
basically.
good point. But I guess you have to also live through that to learn that lesson yourself.
Yeah. And I think that kind of correlates to my next question when you said like be yourself and don't work hard on yourself and all that, with any advice for future journalists.
Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to what's true to you. I mean, there's so much comparison out there to anybody. Instagram, thank you very little, but just stick with it, and maybe you need to write it down. Maybe you need to know what are the core things that are important to you, that are like non-negotiables, and stick to that. And that anytime something else comes up that makes you go, oh, wow, maybe I should be somebody else or do something else, you think, wait, I'm not them, I'm me. And I'm just going to stick to what I do. And what I do best isn't necessarily what other people think is best for me or what others do. But if you just follow your heart, right, and listen to your gut, really listen to your gut, I think it will always steer you the right way.
Yeah, and there's only one version of yourself out there.
Did you just quote that yourself? That's fantastic.
Well, I've seen that a bunch throughout social media, and I've really learned that throughout the years of me being at Fresno City. Like, I was like, oh, I'm a great communicator. And then when I came here, and I was like, oh, I really want to do broadcasting, but I still want to do radio.
Good. See, yeah, true to yourself. That's good.
And last thing, anything I've missed?
Not that I can think of. What is the topic, or what is this for? Maybe I could know if there's something missed if I know what this project is.
It's a feature story, like a profile.
Okay. Well, maybe the one thing that I would say is some surprising things to know about me that most people don't know. First off, but I flew with the Blue Angels. My very first job was as a janitor. I was in 7th grade, I think. What's the other thing that I was going to say that's odd about me, or or not known? I guess that's about it. But if you think of anything else, you're welcome to email me.
Okay, and yeah, I believe that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay. Thank you. I'm really sorry for the Zoom problem. I've got to figure that out. But I will email this to you in just a few minutes once it downloads, okay?
Okay, and let me get a good mental image on what your background is, because Jim really would want, like, okay, describe the background.
When you say background, do you mean my physical background, or
like basically what I'm seeing right now?
What you're seeing? Oh, actually, okay. So this is the set, but it's a fake, it's a picture. If you'd like, okay. I will, I'm in the newsroom. So let me change my background setting. What is my background? How about none? Okay. So this is me in the newsroom. This is my warm coat from the morning, and this is how people enter the newsroom. I think I could give you a tour. That's the set right over there, and they're about to do the midday news. And the rest of the newsroom that's the news director's office, and this is the rest of the newsroom. So that's my background. And I've
I
got some
think
awards here at the desk. I was inducted into the Silver Circle with the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, and I have an Emmy from a newscast I did out there. But I don't keep that at my desk.
I think I remember you posted a picture of you being in on your desk and all that. So I think that will help me out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, that's about, yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Kim.
You're welcome. Have a great Thanksgiving, Carissa.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Whole time he was like, just team up.